So is it a Star Wars knockoff or a Star Wars predecessor? Hello and welcome to Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry and today I'm going to tell you about Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. This is from Luc Besson, who you may remember from The Fifth Element. That's probably the one that you should remember because this is really similar to The Fifth Element in kind of being a zany, kind of campy, kind of exotic sci-fi. I was going to say epic. I don't know if I'd quite call it epic. Maybe it's going to be epic. You might find it epic. If you like the comic, if you like Luc Besson, if you like the word epic, you may just choose to abuse it. And that's up to you. Back to the subject at hand, Valerian. Now, this is a sci-fi movie, takes place in outer space, takes place almost entirely on a space station that started on Earth back in the 70s and then gradually evolved. We were seeing this over the opening credits and some David Bowie's playing in the background, which is nice. And it's growing and growing and growing, and now it's this huge, huge, huge place with millions of inhabitants, thousands of species, all this kind of stuff going on. It's very, very exotic. It has all kinds of different locations and climates and all kinds of different things, and it's pretty cool. There are two agents. There is Valerian, who is a guy, and he's kind of a player. He's also very young, and if you close your eyes, he sounds just like Keanu Reeves. Could be an endorsement, could make you want to see this movie more. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. His partner, who he wants to marry, or he just wants to get with, you don't really know because he's kind of a player, is played by Cara Delevingne, who we've seen, unfortunately, in Suicide Squad. She was also in a movie called Paper Towns, and most people didn't like. I actually liked, but that's another tangent. Anyway, the two of these guys are running different missions, and this movie is really basically about the two of them trying to track down this little alien called a converter, who is one of the sole survivors of a planet that was destroyed about 30 years earlier. And as they go through the movie, they kind of piece together what happened to this alien and its planet and all that kind of thing. And there's a kidnapping of a major, of their supervisor, played by Clive Owen. He's a commander. And it's kind of this whodunit kind of thing. And basically, it's an excuse to jump from place to place on this exotic space station and to showcase a lot of CGI. Now, the story's not bad. It didn't really engage me. Valerian really seems to be about the visual. And I think if you enjoy this kind of CGI, and when I say this kind of CGI, I'm kind of talking about the stuff that's very obviously cartoonish. It's almost kind of campy. If you like The Fifth Element, it's that kind of thing again. As you could tell from the way I'm saying it, is not so much my thing. At times the story even seems to take a back seat to some of the CGI, such as in one sequence where the pop star Rihanna shows up as this kind of chameleon-like alien called Bubble, who changes outfits and changes species and all this kind of thing. And then there's this fight against these man-eating fisherman blob characters, and it's kind of cool and kind of funny, but then you realize this has nothing to do with the plot. This was just kind of a random tangent, and the movie overall to me felt a little bit bloated. A big part of this, and I'm just going to let this, I'm just going to say this outright. A lot of the problem for me with the movie is it's just not really my style. I could see this being a lot of fun for a lot of other filmgoers. I actually really do like a lot of sci-fi. This kind of stuff didn't really grab me in the same way. I think if you're a fan of The Fifth Element, certainly a fan of Luc Besson, which I do like a lot of his other stuff, I think that you'll enjoy this. And of course you're going to enjoy it, I think, if you are a fan of the original comic series, because this is based on a comic book series from the 1960s. In fact, that is actually one of the more interesting things to note about this, because my feeling was, okay, well, I've seen this before. I've kind of been there, done that, which some people might take objection to, since all of the stuff that I've seen and done has happened in the decades since this comic book came out. And so you may kind of feel like, well, it was kind of the original thing. Problem is, the movie's coming out 50 years later. So I wound up giving Valerian 2.5 stars out of 4. There are definitely some things to like about it. It's very visually entertaining, but I kind of struggle with some other parts. The movie is rated PG-13, mostly for some sci-fi action violence. There's a little bit of sexuality, nothing really too crazy. Rihanna's dance number, stripper pole thing is discreet, but still kind of crazy. I'm pretty sure that they had a stunt double in that scene, but if you know, leave it in the comments. So do you think Rihanna had a stunt double in Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets? Leave your answers in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching. This has been Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry, and I would love to have you subscribe on your way out, or a little bit later on if you want to grab a bite first. Maybe got some toast. Thanks to our friends at Rockagator for their continued support. They make some really great waterproof backpacks. Check check them out. See ya.